Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. The Crew Motorfest Season 9 Grand Race. I think there are a few things we need to talk about. These were the changes made for Grand Race for Season 9. In Grand Race, collisions are now automatically off when skipping a checkpoint or driving the wrong way. This is of course to avoid these people that were ramming the last seasons. Let's say it was monster truck and then it switched to hypercar. What you sometimes saw was people skipping the 66% switch point and then just stayed in their monster truck because they knew that the track was sort of going around the city and then the hypercars would come back and then they could just stay in their monster truck standing on the road there where the hypercars then would approve and show up and yeah, with all of chaos guaranteed. That's why they are doing this, I'm assuming, skipping a checkpoint and then driving the wrong way. That probably has something to do with the NASCAR ovals, where at some point or another they will put it in Grand Race. There are already some in Grand Race, or at least a track which goes over those ovals. So potentially that means that people could drive the wrong way and start crashing. But where on earth, dear Ivory Tower, is the people in no collisions which are crashing? They are crashing in houses, in walls, whatever. They are respawning. They're in the middle of the road. They're at 0 kilometers an hour. People behind arrive at 400 kilometers an hour with a big mayhem chaos as a result. Those people should be in ghost mode, and not just for 3 seconds. No, they should be in ghost mode for at least 10 seconds so that they can get back up to speed. That collision business, I think we are now at a point, because there is also the ramming going on as always, people defending their 17th place and ramming people up the track because of it. That bullshit needs to stop. It's a combination of the devs not taking responsibilities in that Grand Race and do something about it with the system they have in hand, and in combination with some of the people who are just driving like idiots. So it's not only devs, it's also a player's mentality in some cases. They also fine-tuned the Grand Race ranking progression values based on Season 8 results. Now, this seems to be something like lost in translation. This seemed to me like they put a few words out of a dictionary, they throw it on the piece of paper and try to make a sentence with it. They start with the verb, that's only the only verb which is used in the whole sentence. Lost in translation, I think. I think they put it in French and then translate it to English to put on the website, which makes it not really a sentence. But if you read it 3 times, then what you're basically telling it is that they adjusted the point system a little bit. That is a problem. It was not great last season. They adjusted it a little bit, what they call fine-tuned, out of experience, 2 weeks grinding in that Grand Race. It is a horrendous point system. You finish on the podium in Platinum, you get 0 points. 0. You do not gain, you do not lose if you finish in 3rd place in a Platinum 1 lobby. You finish in 11th in a lobby where you get rammed off the bridge, where you get pushed out of checkpoints 2 trams in a row. I finished 11th, I lost 23 points in 1 lobby. If you have situations like that, where you get no points for finishing on the podium, and you lose a bunch of points for finishing just outside the top 10, then there is something wrong with your point system. Let that be clear. It is ridiculous. They need to adjust that thing as quickly as possible. There is ramming going on. You have the slipstream feature, which has changed. It has changed. Something with this NASCAR business has changed the slipstream, which has consequences for the whole game, also in Grand Race. The slipstream in corners feels stronger, especially the drop bump. When you have people behind, you can't take a corner. Your car just goes straight. You always had a little bit of an effect of it in the previous seasons, but now you cannot take a corner. There are 2 cars behind you, you can't take a corner, you just go straight. So they have made it some sort of overpowered business. That in combination with the sound of the slipstream, by the way, whose idea was that, Ivory Tower? That must be the most annoying feature that you added in Season 9. I've seen many videos, I've seen many streams, every time the same people. What the hell is this? Where is this shit? Where is this setting? Can we put this up? Immediately everybody put it up. The sound of the slipstream system. And then you have this crap here when you're doing Grand Race. It is already annoying enough that some people are using these pink and purple bright smoke, nitro, underglows, whatever they are, where you can barely see where you're going. In a pro racing lobby where you are locked into the cockpit view, you can't see anything with those stupid vanities. That was not bad enough. The devs like, oh, let's make some extra ones and come up with some slipstream crap feature smoke which comes out of your mirrors when you're in slipstream. What is that even? Get it out of there. We don't need slipstream audio. We don't need slipstream mirror airflow or whatever it is that comes out of the mirrors. As a matter of fact, we don't need slipstream. Get that shit out of the game. That is 9 seasons now that we as racers are asking, do something about it. It is too overpowered. It is influenced. I mean, look at this shit. What is that shit coming out of my mirrors again? This white thing on the side of your car. Anyway, that's slipstream. Back to slipstream. Something needs to be done with that hybrid tower in Grand Race. Every single of the Grand Racers, some of the top drivers have made videos about it already. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. You are not listening to the Grand Racers. For a feature like Grand Race, then there is a problem. If you keep listening to casuals, or that seems to be what is happening at the moment. Might be your biggest group, but that's fine. Then you give them a casual lobby and make an unranked lobby. That business with the frozen rank is still around. How do you even think that is a good system? Where you have ranked people and unranked people driving around. I mean, look at this shit. There are bats coming out of this guy's car. There is some sort of fluorescent thing coming out of his car. If we are now in a pro racing lobby, you can't see anything. You can't see where you're going. And the switch point at 66%, they are still as bad as ever. You get your car in the wall before you have control over it, because crossplay as always doesn't work in a racing or a shooting game. There's no difference in here. There's some sort of delay on everything because of the if there are too many console players in your PC lobby, then things do not work very well. Then you have some sort of crossplay desync or whatever, and then everything is a little bit delayed. It's really bad out there. In this case, we have a no collision lobby. That's the other thing. Now, personally, I like it. The fact that they sort of threw every modifier that they have, they pretty much threw it in Season 9. So you have a bunch of mix of modifiers. German cars only, Italian cars only, BMW only, Bugatti only. We have a triple hypercar lobby around as well. That is all a little bit of a problem, more than likely, for some people, right? Because the people out there, they're driving a GRS in hypercar. They've been driving a GRS for 9 seasons because that's what the meta sweaties do. They only drive 10 cars in 10 different disciplines. They are probably not happy with that. They are probably not happy with that many different modifiers, because then they can't drive their meta sweaty car every lobby, so they're probably not happy with it. Some of the casuals might also not happy be hit because, as I said, they are watching these meta sweaties and they see, oh, they always drive a Gera, so everybody's driving a Gera. And then we have, for instance, this season we have this triple Bugatti lobby where you have to choose 3 different Bugattis in Grand Race, with all consequences to go with that. People don't have settings on these cars, so they might have settings on one Bugatti, but that's about it. On the other 2 they don't have settings, and now they are forced to use 3 Bugattis in one lobby with collisions on. That is a problem. People get smashed into a wall, and if you then have a point system which is broken as hell, it's frustrating. We have been grinding out this thing here to a legend. It is a frustrating grind, I can tell you that. Very often you have a feeling that you're like the second or third best driver in the lobby and you finish in 7th or 8th because there are some kids ramming you out of a checkpoint, and the rest of the race is determined by slipstream, which is still 9 seasons in, completely overpowered and still not adjusted, at least a little bit. No, nothing. That slipstream needs to be reduced, needs to be nerfed with at least 50%, if not more, or even better, just get it out of the game. It is influencing 50% of the races, for sure. The routes, as the Americans would say, or the routes as we say over here, the potting, whatever you want to call it, are pretty bad in Season 9. There is a lobby which starts with drift with collisions on. There is a lobby which starts with monster truck with collisions on a very narrow track. There is one lobby, Maui rally race start, very narrow track. It is a smash, boom, 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 and then you go after that. You go hypercar and Alpha GP on highway and coastal roads. In other words, high speed. If you have bad luck in any of these lobbies, you get pushed out in the grass by some kiddies in the beginning. You cannot come back anymore. You finish in 9th or 10th or wherever you are, because there is no difference to be made on these highway tracks where everybody's slipstreaming with that overpowered slipstream. It's a combination of it all. That grand race needs a big overhaul. The routes are so bad. The jet, what is the jet even doing in there? It is only to create chaos. And there we have it. The legend rank. We got it yesterday after about 2 weeks grinding. So yeah, if a 50-year-old keyboard noob on automatic gearbox can do it, then a lot of you out there should also be able to do it. So those who say that it's impossible to get, the keyboard noob strikes again. We got legend. What we got here? Oh yeah, this thing here. Are the collisions on? I think they are. More than likely. Let's have a look on this lobby here. This is a perfect example. I am not the fastest driver around. I'm playing on a keyboard with automatic gearbox, as I just mentioned. This is one of these lobbies, I think, where I just drive away. And why is that? Because in the back, there people are ramming each other out of the corners. Right? Might be 1 or 2 guys who keep up. I can't remember exactly. Maybe I don't even win. I don't know. But there must be behind me such a chaos that I'm just chilling and drive away. As long as you stay on the road in this cockpit view business. It's pro racing, they call it. It's cockpit view only. You have no nitro. So it's all about corner speed. Momentum in the corners, coming out of the corners. Nitro, all these overpowered nitro cars that some of you all always showing up in these lobbies, they are useless in this pro racing. In pro racing, you need a car which has the best acceleration. That's what you need, so that you can out accelerate coming out of every corner. For instance, this BMW M8, M4 Liberty Walk, which we are in, it's a pretty good choice. It's also one of the only cars with 8 gears which actually works with 8 gears. Gearbox ratio is pretty good. And there we go. Boom. And we're off. We're off to the races. Not really, because everybody behind us is killing each other. There were just 4 cars with us, right? We're already half a second ahead, so they're killing each other, they're ramming each other, not giving each other room. In a situation like this, if you're driving side by side, if everybody keeps on their own part of the track, their own lane, that might mean that you have to take your corners a little bit wider or whatnot, but that works, you know. That is the other thing this season, and that probably has to do with the fact that the collisions are on, that you can barely get any points, but this season is way more aggressive out there than it was last season. So way more aggressive driving going on this in season 9 here. So that is definitely something you need to have a look at as well. So yeah, we don't know what season 10 is about, starting in July. We haven't heard much about that, which is also a little bit strange and worrying at the same time, because seeing we have not heard anything about it kind of makes me feel that they might not have that much around. But do we really need more of that scrap? Probably not. I think we're better off with some quality of life changes. I wouldn't even mind if season 10 would just be about quality of life changes. Adjustments to the system they have, the bugs, the broken things. You know, they bring in that track force editor, for instance. And what do? They put the track of the week, they put in the summit already from the beginning. Well, that's 2 weeks in a row it's completely broken. Last week the track had a rewind, which was ridiculous because it had a bug that the slowest time gave you the highest score. So people were driving to the finish and then rewind and drive again and rewind and drive again and rewinding till you had 10 minutes on the clock and then eventually finish, and that gave you the maximum score. This week there are 3 resets I think in the track. So yeah, that track of the week business, they put that in the summit. That also doesn't seem to be very great. It's 2 weeks in a row that we had it, and that's 2 weeks in a row that it doesn't work, it's completely broken. Last week a rewind, this week 3 resets on that track. So yeah, people were complaining about some of the skill tests with the lag switch and the air nitro abuse, and yeah, that summit, that's what I mean, right? Quality of life changes. Fix all these bugs. These people who lag switching, kick them out. They're abusing the system, they're breaking the servers. The servers are running poop this season from time to time. You know, booting up the game. Last season it took 3 minutes, now it takes 5 minutes. Why does that have to take so long? What is the game doing in the back? The vegetation bushes are flickering this season. Probably because the servers are not up to date with the latest video drivers out there. That's my guess. You're standing still on a grand race start, so you know there's usually some vegetation around. You should have a look on the bushes. They're constantly flickering. Some people might think like, oh, is there something wrong with my graphics card? No, it's not you boys. It's their system. I've seen it in many videos, many streams, that the vegetation is flickering on all the people who have it on higher graphic settings. So it's probably a driver thing. We are updating our drivers, and Ivory Tower is probably not on their servers. And then they probably will not fix it until the next season, because that's how it always goes with these bugs. They only do fixes when it is happening next season, and then they bring a new category this season with the cup cars, and then people need yellow parts, and then the boxes were not spawning. I mean, these kind of things. How can you even come up with that? Now, meanwhile, that has been fixed with the latest maintenance from last Wednesday. The boxes are back, the live snippers are working again, because that was probably what happened, that they disabled the live snippers again. Then they say in the patch, in the emergency maintenance patch, they say like in those notes like, oh yeah, we were fixing a bug where the boxes did not appear. I don't think it was a bug. I think they disabled the live snipper again because probably some people were using the duplication glitch again. Get these people out of there. Ban them for a week or 2. They will stop doing that shit. Those kind of things. So meanwhile, the boxes are back to normal. So if you have a live sniffer, you should be every 2 minutes and a half. You should be find the box if you just drive around on the map. If you know where the boxes are, every 2 minutes you should get another signal with a fully decked out live sniffer set. Before the maintenance from last Wednesday, that was 6-7 minutes. So yeah, there's also a combination of that going on. So yeah, season 10. Grand Race, I would like to see some things change. That slipstream, we've been saying this for 9 seasons now. It's about time you change something about that Ivory Tower. Season 10, double numbers, round number, seems to be a good time to do it. And next to that, obviously, the point system. Just make that like in any motorized sport out there, right? Formula 1, WRC, WEC, endurance racing, IndyCar, and anything which motorized, MotoGP, motocross, MXGP, you can go into the website of the FIA or something, right? Fédération Internationale d'Automobile, International Racing Federation. You can go on the website. It has a rule book. On every of these rule books, you can find the point system for the sport you're looking for. That is transparent. Everybody knows what it is. The racers know what it is, the mechanics know what it is, the teams know what it is, and every fan out there in the world who are watching these sports know exactly how the point system works. In this game, completely random. Nobody knows. You finish in 9th place with some platinum drivers around you, you might get +1, +2. You finish in 9th place, get kicked out a few times, you lose 12 points or something. It's completely random. 3rd place, sometimes you get a few points, sometimes you get no points. +0. 4th place, around 0 usually. -1, -2 in other lobbies. Like here, look at this. This is a victory. This is a victory +9. We're not even getting 9 points anymore in this situation. You're doing, my teammate the other day, who just started racing this season, he finished in 8th in a bronze lobby. Take a seat. 80 points. He got +80 for an 8th place. We are getting +9 for a victory. That whole point system needs to be overhauled. Make it simple. You have come up with some system. You have 28 people in a lobby. The top 14 gains points. The bottom 14 loses points. Simple, easy. Put the points table in the menu, in the Grand Race menu, so that everybody can see what the point system is. You know what you're driving for. And then you put a certain number that you need people to get every season, and that's it. Instead of this bullshit here where it also makes no sense. Beginning of the season, you're driving there against some of the best drivers in the world. You go on the podium, you get 120 points in bronze. But it's those same people that you come across later in platinum lobbies, and then you get no points. +9 for a victory here. And that's not even the lowest. I have had as low as +6 for a victory. That needs to change. Something needs to change, because people are not going to come back in season 10 and 11 and so on to do this grind here with some random point system where you don't know what you're driving for. That's probably also one of the reasons. It's like people are just fighting for their positions now. They're pushing everybody out of the road. One of the reasons why it's way more aggressive racing is because people don't know what they're racing for. If you're in 3rd place and you know, like, okay, I'm in 3rd, okay, I'm going to get 10 points plus a point extra for every higher rank that is behind me, something in that order, that would make sense. Then people are like, okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with 3rd place. They're just going to try to stay in 3rd instead of ramming this second guy out of the track, because that's what's happening now. You don't know what you're racing for, so you just want to finish as high as possible. While in other circumstances, if you only have 2 corners to go and you're in 3rd place, you might be, okay, that's good enough for this race, up to the next one. Which means we have less aggressive driving going on. If people know what they're going for. If you just make it something like 20 points for a victory, 18 for second, you can just do something like that. 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, whatever. And then 5, 3, 2, 1 or something for, and then you make that for the top 14. And then the bottom 14, it's just the opposite. If you make victory 20 points, then the last guy should get -20. Second place is, let's say, +17, then the pre-ultimate last guy, he should get -17. It's as simple as that. And then you have people racing each other, and either you gain or you lose points, but that's what it is. You know what you're racing for, and then you also know what every position is worth. So then you know, like, even if something happens and you're suddenly in 22nd place next to the road, then you can fight back and know, like, okay, but if I can get to 8th place, then I can at least get that amount of points, and then you try to get back to 8th place. Now you have to drive as aggressive as possible, try to get as high as possible, even if you come from 22nd place. I had it myself the other day. We start on a highway track, Alpha GP, another one of those which should never be at the start with collisions on, because it's a ramming fest. Everybody's driving side by side, but there's one kid who starts panicking, and he starts moving in the middle of the highway, and yep, suddenly crash 4 people next to the road, including myself. I was on a dirt road under a bridge somewhere next to the track. In Alpha GP, while the rest is on the highway doing 417 kilometers an hour in top speed. So then you have to drive aggressive like hell. I had to come back all the way from 25th. And where did we finish? I think we finished it eventually second. But on my way there, we were pissed off that we were already getting kicked off that highway. So on my way from 25th to second, everything that was in my way died. That's sort of how you're gonna drive eventually, yeah? Because I think that slipstream needs to be reduced with 50%, and anything which can create chaos. Alpha GP, monster truck, drift, those kind of lobbies, especially if those disciplines are on the start, that should always be no collisions. Don't put these disciplines on the start of a grand race with 28 people with collisions on it. That makes no sense. It really doesn't. That's just creating chaos. That's a Fergus thing again. That's probably why it's in there. He loves chaos. He loves all that shenanigans with ramps on the rooftops of buildings in the city and things like that. That's all Fergus. This is probably why we have this. But the racers don't like it, Mr. Fergus, in case you haven't figured it out yet. That slipstream, that's 9 seasons now that people, racers in general, but especially the top drivers in Grand Race, I don't know how many videos I saw come by. Every single one of them has a video about the slipstream. Hey, this is too overpowered, you need to change something about it. But they're not listening to it. They are not listening to any of these grand racers. They are listening to a bunch of casuals that they got on a playtest or a workshop or whatever. And this is the result. But the problem with these casuals is they're not even in Grand Race. And if they are, they just want to have maybe 1 or 2 races, fun with their friends. They don't even want to be in these ranked lobbies. Give these kids another lobby. That whole frozen rank business, that's how can you call this competitive racing? It's not competitive racing if you have ranked racing and unranked racing and ramming kits, and people can freeze their rank, people are playing for points, other people are not playing for points, and you all just put it together. Just put it all together, ivory tower logic. That makes no sense at all. That is frustrating for those who want to race for points, who want to race for a good race. And the kids were probably also frustrated that they can't ever get into the top 10 because they're up against these top racers. They just want to race with their own friends on their own level in a way. There should always be a ranked and an unranked lobby. And that frozen business, just get it out of the game. What is that even doing there? That's just ridiculous. Because now you see what's happening. Exactly what I did here now. People grind for 2 weeks, they're legend rank, they freeze it and have fun out there, rammers. Because we don't care anymore. Rank is frozen, we are legend rank. Some people might just leave. They just show up in the beginning of the season, play for a week and a half, get their legend rank, and they leave and they come back 3 times at the end of the month to play for the car that you can win in the summit or something like that. And other than that, they're not even playing the game. So yeah, things need to be changed. Might not be even a bad idea to make it in such a way that that you spread it out over 4 months. Not sure how that would work, but that you need to gain a certain amount of points. Let's say you need to get 5,000 points to get to legend, but you can only earn 1250 every month. That would make it that people show up every month of the season. Also something you might want to think about over there in Lyon. Because now you're going to have this situation where people show up for a week or 2, and then the rest of the season you don't see them anymore. Or they're just showing up with a frozen rank and just have some fun and ram some people and block some people and make it more annoying for others to get to legend. That's also what you see. Teams, one of them is legend, and then they show up, or 2 of them are legend, and then they show up with a team of 4 or 5, and then those 2 legends are blocking the road so that their other 3 teammates can get 1, 2, and 3 and get to legend easier. Team tactics. More than likely you're going to see more than ever in the next couple of weeks when more and more of those situations are happening. But we'll see. Anyway, changes need to be done for season 10. And whatever points you have changed here compared to season 8, it's not a good change. Revert it back, or a better hack, just overhaul that whole point system and have a close look at the Grand Race. Also, checkpoints. There is one of these races where you have some hairpin section where the checkpoints are only on the right side. People are just driving up the hill. That stupid track is in 3 different lobbies, I think. One with racing, one with hypercar, one with Alpha GP. People are jumping over the tunnel because checkpoint placement is so bad. People are going through the grass up the hill because there are no checkpoints on the left side of the hairpin, so why would you take the hairpins, right? These Grand Race pathings and routes or whatever you pronounce it, depending where you live, that needs to be overhauled. That needs to be checked. These checkpoints need to be checked. Also, make it consistent. Make it in such a way that the trigger point is in the arch of the checkpoint. There are some checkpoints where you can drive miles next to it, and others you need to hit or you don't get it. That is inconsistent. That confuses people. It has something to do with speed. One time you get it, the other time you don't get it. If you're a bit too slow at that moment. But if you go more than 200 kilometers an hour, yeah, then you can drive next to the checkpoint because then it will trigger. This is, for instance, there are a few examples here. Huh? Like here, this checkpoint, look at this. I'm not even close to it, but I get it. Huh? That should be consistent. You need to hit that gate at least or something. This is 2 checkpoints in a row where I just do not hit the gate at all, but you get it. And then the next race, you do exactly the same thing. It might be very possible that we're just 10 or 15 kilometers too slow, and then you don't get a checkpoint. That inconsistency crap, it very often has to do with crossplay desync as well. So make it very simple, you know. You know what it should be? Like the BMW playlist. That's how the checkpoint should be. Wooden solid checkpoints which you have to go through. If you go outside, it doesn't count. Something like that. But that's just a personal frustration. But yeah, I'm pretty sure some people agree with that. Especially the switch point. The switch points, also that needs to be reviewed. How many of these switch points, 33 or 66%, are in front of a 90 degrees corner? Then first let people take the corner and then put the checkpoint or the switch point. Then they are low speed coming out of a corner. That would make way more sense than now arriving at 300 kilometers an hour. Desync crossplay, 3-second delay. We are getting our car in the wall before we have control over the car. Lose all the momentum. Some other guys went off throttle just before the switch point. They go to the highway, they're slipstreaming, and you can't catch up anymore. Why? Because the system doesn't give you your car in time. Those kind of things, all influences artificial racing, all kind of features which influence the result, which have nothing to do with racing. That is something which you need to overhaul, Ivory Tower. All that crap that doesn't have anything to do with racing itself should not be in there. Slipstream, these switch points which are not great. Go over your routes and make sure you have checkpoints all over the place and put them in properly. Always has been a problem. Crew 2, Crew 1, and also in Motorfest. The placement of the checkpoints. They're in no man's land. Just put them in corners, and if you have to, you put one before the corner and one after the corner. Just make sure people can't reset. That's another one. There are still 2-3 resets in Grand Race, which people are still abusing because you get an advantage with the corners. There's one with the jump there on the road, and then there's an off-road one on one of the off-road tracks where people are just going full speed into the checkpoint, reset. It puts them so much back that they can just respawn and go left instead of taking a 180-degree U-turn. Those kind of things. I'm making the video right now, and people have made other videos in the previous seasons, so you have 4 months to figure it out, the Ivory Tower. We want to see some changes in the beginning of season 10. That seems to be a good point of waiting, I would say, if you know what I mean. That means that we have been waiting 10 seasons to see some change on that overpowered slipstream. 10 seasons. That seems to be a really good number, that it's about time that you do something about it. We have waited long enough, I think. Anyway, my take on Season 9 grind in Grand Race. It's pretty brutal. Some of the routes are horrendous. The point system, Jesus, so bad this season. So that's something I would like to see, especially the point system. It's something I would like to see. Make it just a normal, like in any other sport, a steady point system where top 10 or top 12 or top 14 gets points and the bottom loses points. It's as simple as that. And then people know what, and you put that point table, you put it in the menu in Grand Race, and then people know what they are racing for. You will also have less aggressive racing because people know, okay, this place give me 12 points, that place give me 10 points. Okay, yeah, well, we're not going to ram people here for 2 points, right? They will just stay behind and be satisfied with a 5th place, or instead of ramming the 4th guy out, because that's what's happening now. Because people don't know what they're racing for. It's completely random. One time you get 6 points on the podium, 3rd place, and the other time you get no points. Same in 4th place. Sometimes you get positive points, sometimes you get complete negative points. Although you're in 4th place, that means you have left 24 people behind. It makes no sense. Should also not be a difference whether you're bronze or silver. It's the same in any other sport, right? Whether you are a 5 times world champion in Formula 1 or you are Lindblad, the rookie of the season, if you win a race, you get 25 points. It doesn't matter who you are. That should be the same in this game. Whether you're a bronze driver, a silver driver, a platinum driver, or legend, or whatever, a win is a win and you should always get the same points. Fix it, Ivory Tower, before Season 10. We'll talk again in July. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one, boys. I'm out. Bye-bye.